So the first thing that we like to start with is, before we do the outside, is we do the engine bay, which looks like this, and the door jambs, which will look like this. And so we're gonna do that first before we do our pre-rinse, before we do our wheels, and before we do anything else, because you kind of make the most of a mess whenever you're doing these things. And we're probably gonna cut this part out because I'm rambling like an idiot. Glove up. I mean, sometimes we don't, but always glove up, especially when you're working with like wheels, engine bays, degreasers, that kind of thing. I mean, what we're looking at here is just an engine bay that's got some miles on it. You know, over here in Amarillo, we've always got dry leaves and stuff stuck in the hinges. You know, I want to make sure to tell you to always disconnect the negative battery terminal. First, we are going to pre-rinse the engine bay, and then we're going to hit it with some snow foam that's got a little degreaser in it. We're going to brush nooks and crannies. We're going to rinse it. We're going to throw a protectant / dressing on it, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and this is broken, so we are going to cover that with this hand condom here. And then, I don't know, maybe if we're feeling frisky later, we'll go to the auto parts store and spend $2.99.
Put a cap on it. Little Harvey.
We've got Chemical Guys Honeydew Snowfoam. Not a Chemical Guys whore, but there's a couple of their products that I keep around, and I happen to really like their Honeydew Snowfoam. And then we've also got a few ounces of, well, this is a secondary bottle, but we got a few ounces of our Super Clean degreaser in here, because as you can see, we're gonna need all the help we can get. So I'm actually gonna use this on both the engine bay and the exterior. Why wouldn't you do that? It's just so damn satisfying, right? In here, get the battery terminals. Drop my brush halfway down the engine bay. Get the intake ports, box plug wires if they're accessible. You know, whatever. Generally anything that you would constitute as a nook and cranny from a scientific standpoint, which you're going to want to hit with the brush. If it's not a nook and cranny, don't hit it with the brush. That's up to you. Not Crooks and Nannies. That is a whole different YouTube channel. You can usually get away with exactly what we just did. I am not your car's doctor, so please do not consider this official car doctor advice. Also, this should be obvious, but I'll say it anyway. If your air box is open, you know, you're gonna want to stuff a rag in that, like your mom, babe. And, make sure that you don't flood it. That could lead to something called hydro locking, which is much fun as that sounds like it is. It sucks, and you don't want any part of that. You know, especially anywhere that you've got, if you'll get in here a little bit, anywhere that you've got wiring harnesses, plugs, connectors, these little like waffle syrup trap shaped things right here. You know, do a better job on those than anywhere else in here. The faster you get this dry, the better, within reason. That's pretty much it. We're gonna leave this, I do the engine bay first, so we're gonna leave this open while we do the door jambs and let this dry out completely. Honestly, the order doesn't matter a whole lot, but that's the specific reason why I do engine bays first. And then I just have some Super Clean here, diluted. I think this is 1 to 5. My pressure washer, my brush, that's honestly gonna be fine. Don't forget the trunk jams. Now that we're done with our door jams, we're going to do a pre-rinse on the exterior. We're going to hit the front fascia and probably the side view mirrors with some citrus degreaser and agitate that before we hit it with snow foam, just to break up the dead bugs and like little pieces of tar and stuff that may still be stuck to the car. And before we do the snow foam, we're gonna go ahead and knock out the wheels so we're not like blasting liquefied brake dust and stuff all over our slightly cleaner car, right? So we've done engine bay, we've done door jams, and now we're gonna do wheels. So we are gonna hit these with a low concentration of Meguiar's non-acid wheel and tire cleaner. Let it sit for just a minute. And then this is my trusty specialized $170 wheel and tire brush. Oh no, this was like $3 at Walmart and I've had it for 5 years. It does great. Obviously don't touch paint with this. If this is a vehicle where you can't get to the nooks and crannies, then use something different. But honestly, this has been the best all-purpose wheel and tire brush I've ever seen. In fact, it got ran over by a Silverado like a month ago and it's still kicking. I didn't blame the cameraman. She incriminated herself. All right, we've got our 5-gallon bucket of clean water right here. We don't have a fancy DI or water filtration system. We're gonna show you how to get around that shortly. And then this is our Optimum No-Rinse. One bottle of this will last the average American adult 4 to 6 lifetimes, probably. We go through a bottle of this every few months, but like really, a dab will do you. A couple of ounces literally into 5 gallons of water is all you need. Wash mitt. This one happens to be a Griots, but like just find one you like, honestly. And then we are actually going to be polishing this later on for a not ceramic coating, or at least not at first purpose, which we're excited to show you. So I'm going to use some pressure because really just getting the surfaces clean. Normally you want to be fairly light on the pressure so you're not introducing marring or micro scratches, but it really won't matter. Cleanliness is more important in this particular case. Would it be against your union contract to drag that bucket over here? Call my union rep. I won't tell. Generally speaking, I would, start from the top of the panel, work your way down so you're not like bringing the filth up with you.
Like with your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Like your mom. Like we didn't invite her to this. The car is clean. We are going to chemically decontaminate it before we do like a final soft rinse and move on to the next steps. The reason why we're doing this is because the sort of creative project that we're doing ahead of this might as well be treated like a coating in terms of how important it is that the surface is clean. So what an iron remover is it dissolves iron fallout, industrial fallout. Check it out. Definitely wear gloves with this stuff, and it smells terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
It smells terrible.
Top 3 terrible smelling things ever.
Naruto headlamp. Let's take a look at the hood. Is just bleeding purple at this point. Here's one right there. You can kind of see it directly kind of spewing out of that little globule. This stuff's kind of fun. It's kind of like, I would say this is like an exfoliator for your face. This is getting all those blackheads. This is a Biore strip for your car. Okay, so we detailed the engine bay, we did the door jams, we did wheels, We did a pre-treatment on the front end, like with the bug guts and stuff. We snow foamed it, we rinsed it, we washed it, and now we have iron removed it. I'm gonna rinse this off, and then we will start part 2 tomorrow with clay bar and polishing. We actually ran out of daylight to show you guys how we do a spot-free rinse, but at this point we would have like a 1-gallon pressure sprayer that you'd use for weeds or whatever on deck, filled up with distilled water, and we would just make a pass around the car with our distilled water really quick before we hit it with our drying towel, which is a Dreadnought XL from Auto Fiber. You gotta get one.
Check back with us for part 2 on this project soon.
Thanks for watching.